Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, starting with the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Beneficent. And I believe all of you must be fine and in good touch of health. We are continuing with the school services. We have seen the primarily what are the objectives behind establishing a sort of a branch of the health services, and what are actually the responsibilities or objectives of the school health services. And then is obviously the school health team, then the duties of the medical officer, duties of the staff nurse, duties of the and of course the team, the equipment, and now the school health problems. Obviously, what are the commonly occurring problems faced by the medical team working in a school? What, in other words, we can say what are the problems of the growing children of the country or of the society. And then is the suggested equipment for the school clinic. Obviously, very handy, very easy to judge and very easy to decide. The weighing machine, the tape measure and the height and measuring rod, the Snell's eye testing chart, the tongue depressor and torch, the nasal and ear speculum, vaccination equipment, obviously disposable syringes, sterilizer, spirit lamp, wash basin, towel stand, scissors, surgical forceps, first aid kits. And then is the drugs, the recommended drugs for the school clinic, which should be all the time available and should be handy. The recommended drugs for a school clinic should be the first aid kit, obviously obviously minor cuts for the spirit, should contain spirit, the cotton, the spirit swab, the stickings, the Nichiban, Paragon, all those things should be present in the first aid kit. The obviously the tetanus toxoid injection, the sort of I can say the syringes, the steroids, all those things should be present. Toothache solutions, eye/ear ache drops, cough and carminative mixtures, aspirin, caffeine, antibiotics, vitamins, of course, particularly vitamins, and of course in particular the fat soluble vitamins. Then is obviously all those things should be present and should be handy, should not be expired, should be within the date to use, should be in the first instance easily available to any person working there, because most of those present things, recommended drugs or recommended equipment is not for the specialized use, it's for the common use. Then is obviously the action on detection of a case of infectious disease. So that is where we are very much concerned. So whenever infectious disease is diagnosed, then it is a very much serious affair, and if we have to save the other children, we have to save the other members of the community, we have to save the other family members of the same child, we have to be very much clear and very much disciplined in terms of action what we take when in a case of infectious disease or communicable disease is being diagnosed in a child. So whenever a case of infectious disease is brought to the notice of the school medical officer, the child must be excluded from the school for a reasonable period depending upon the nature of the disease, the communicability and the incubation period. All those things should be kept in mind, and the child should be sent home, and immediately teacher-parent meeting should be done. The medical officer may also be involved. It should be told to the parents, and if it is a contagious disease of the global importance, the polio or anything else, then the district administration is also to be involved. And if it is a contagious disease of certain epidemic nature, then even then the district health authorities are to be involved. But if it is a commonly occurring communicable disease, the sore throat, the cough or whatever it is, then the baby is to be sent home and then to be checked. If it is a mumps, it's something else, then it's to be taken seriously. And whatever the case may be, the child is to be separated from other colleagues, from other friends for a reasonable time, and making sure that this disease will not spread. And that is actually the hard and fast responsibility of the medical team working in the school. So in case of occurrence of diphtheria, measles, it is measles. MBBS is chicken pox, mumps or whooping cough. The class should be inspected for more cases, and if laboratory tests are possible, the laboratory tests are to be done. Then every student working in that studying in that class should be examined for such a disease. Otherwise, this disease, mind you, will spread to whole of the class, or to whole of the school, or to whole of the area, or whole of the union council, or whole of the city. So the school, definitely school authorities should be involved, the education authorities should be involved, the health authorities should be involved, and I told you in case of the pandemic, in the case of the epidemic or epidemics, or in case of the communicable disease of the global nature, the district health authorities, the district administration is to be also to be involved. The WHO is to be involved. If, say for example, if World Health Organization is to be involved, for example, if it is a polio case or something like COVID-19 case is there. So the school nurse should also visit the home of the child, now where we are concerned to detect more cases amongst the contacts and prevent them from entering the school until certified by the family physician or by the school doctor that he has no more infection or she has no more infection. So that is the nurse visits or the health technician visits the home of the school and examines other babies, inform the parents, involve the family, if it is the response is not good, involve the political leader, involve the administration, goes there, directs them, cautions them, and asks them to keep the other children away from that child, to save him, her, and save others from sort of a epidemic to come out. So this is the responsibility of, mind you, this is the responsibility of the doctor. And once the child has been declared clear from contagious stage or from the infectious stage, from the communicable disease stage, then the child is allowed to come to the school. So the infected house should be disinfected, and every effort should be made to educate the family for prevention of the spread of the communicable disease to others. We have to save all other children. It's not concerned that whether the children from that family are coming to the same school or going to the other school, but we have to save all those children involved. So the closure of the school would not be ordinarily would not be required as a measure of prevention of the spread of the communicable disease, but this time, as we all know, when the COVID-19 was coming, the route was different, the way of diagnosis was different, the way it was picked up was different. But once the cases started coming in the country, then all the schools were closed, and that was a different scenario. It's a pandemic, involved everybody on the globe, involved many on the globe, and that is why this step passed. Now the classrooms, what type of classroom should be there, what types of seating arrangement should be there when the students are going to the classroom. It should be, obviously we all know that from the subject of physiology, from the subject of environment, from the subject of air and ventilation, we have seen that the student should be in a well ventilated, I can say rightly, not highly, not darkly, high and correctly enlightened, I can say natural color light should be present in the classroom. And the space is, the minimum floor space for pupil is 15 square feet for every student. So it's a quite clear thing that the classroom should be of such a size that it should provide 15 square feet to every student. So every part of the classroom should have adequate light. One thing, adequate is the best word for the lighting, and then is a proper ventilation. So the distance from the blackboard and seats should be reasonable and without any glare. This is important. Second, every student should see the teacher and the blackboard or the writing place very clearly and from a relatively closer angle. 2. Every student should be given equal priority. Every student should be given equal priority to be in the class, to study, to read, and to obviously to clarify his ideas. So the desks should be used in the schools are of the following types. Now, what type of desk should be used? The minus desk, obviously a vertical line. If a vertical line is drawn from the edge of the desk, falls on the seat. This is minus. minus type of desk. Then is the zero desk with a vertical line drawn from the edge of the desk touches the edge of the seat. That is great. And then is the plus desk, obviously a vertical line drawn from the edge of the desk falls outside the edge of the chair, which actually does not fit into the health of the student. It has certain drawbacks. See them. Yes, see them in the diagrams. So the minus desk is the desk commonly used, and obviously, so the minus desk is the one which actually fits to the health of fits into the is very much setting in with the backbone of the student. Zero is fine, but plus desk may cause certain deformities, the skeletal deformities, kyphosis, scoliosis, or other problems of backbone. The pain remains there, and the student cannot keep the book at a reasonable distance. So in the classroom, the minus desk and the zero desk are good enough to be used, but the plus desks are not to be used as far as the teaching purpose is concerned. The first recommendation of the desk for the children is that the minus desk and then the zero type, because the child is in a position to sit erect with his back, enabling him to keep a proper distance from the desk to his eyes, and also avoid postural deformities like kyphosis and scoliosis. So this is quite clear, does not need further explanation. The minus desk and the zero desk are good enough for the students. Plus desk should be avoided. Then is the roles of the school teacher in the health services. So school teacher plays an important role, and as I told you in my last lecture of school health services, I told you that the teacher and the doctors, they are the first heroes of the baby, of the student, of the boy, of the girl going to the school of the age of 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. So they are the first heroes. So their character, their behavior, their habits, their teaching style, everything is noticed and everything is realized and considered by the student. So the school teacher has to play a vital key role in school health services programs as well, as all these students spend most of their time with the teacher who can observe them very closely. After training, the school teachers are in a position to treat minor ailments including injuries and subsequently report them to the school medical officer. So whenever possible, the teachers can be trained. We all know that when the polio program started, the teachers help the health department for the vaccination. The teachers are there for the health issues. The teacher informs the parents. Teacher has got contact with the parents. Then obviously the teacher-parent meeting. And now minor ailment, say for example headache, fever, some sort of cut, some sort of injury, some bruise over the body, some pain in the legs. Sometimes the babies complain. So the teacher can be helpful without going into some technical thing. The teacher can be helpful very much. Our teacher can get the guidance from the medical officer. If medical officer is not available, from the nurse or the health technician or other PN type of person can be helpful to treat the children. So the school teachers are also acts as a liaison between the school medical officer and the parents. The school teacher sometimes is needed to be involved whenever the baby develops some type of illness, and obviously the parents are to be involved. Parents are to be told and to be cautioned for the treatment. Then school teacher is also to be involved. So that's all from myself as far as the school health services is concerned. That is the last of the school health services, and from next we shall continue with the applied epidemiology, and of course the last remains the BUSTAT, which we'll discuss when we meet with each other. So stay blessed. It's goodbye from my side. Goodbye.